What is up, Grant? What is up, YouTube? Today, we're gonna do something crazy. We're gonna be looking at my logic thing. This is part of the coursework. Okay, let's go. The first thing I did on this track was I found a drum and bass kit because I was doing the drum and bass for the golden syrup. So what I did here is I, used my notes on the basics of drum and bass, the core of drum and bass, if you will. And I put the kick on the first beat, and I put it on the and of the third beat. Yeah, I put the kick on the and of the third beat. That's an off beat. And then the snare was on the second and fourth beat. This is quite a simple drum and bass drum beat, but it was effective. And then what I did is I knew I wanted to do a little change halfway through the track, so I created this little drum fill here. Let's see if I play it in the screen recording. So I created a drum fill there. Nothing too special about it, just a simple little drum fill. But it allowed for a bridge between the two parts of the track. And then what I did is, it says Crash the 808 bass there, but it's Aurora. I went onto Alchemy and I found a ethereal sort of synth sound. I'm sure I'll play it for you. Yeah, the Aurora Wave sound. I think I used a D major 9th chord, because 9th chords are commonly used in drum and bass. And they also they sound quite ethereal, They give it that yeah. And I used a little bit of a pitch modulation there. Just played the chord. But it sounded cool, and it did. I then found this deep wave bass sound that I quite liked, and I just copied the Aurora Waves texture. So that became more of the lead synth than that in the background, and I mixed it. That sounds like this. See? That's power. That's power is what I was about to say there. And yeah, so I thought I added texture. It makes it sound more drum bassy, because it's it's deep wave bass, so it's a bass synth noise, the wop, 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 wop sort of thing. I did the same over here. The same thing, except I changed the chord. So I believe I used either an E major and E minor 9th chord. I'll double check that. I did somewhere. And it's within the key of D, so it's in key. And I made that one pitch bend the other way, so it sounds completely different. So here we are. Oh, here we go. They sound nice, they're in key, and it's a nice little change after the break. Then what did I do? This is me showing mine. So what I did here is I used automation to pan it left and right at different points. So I put it on pan, I put it on, I think track, no. I changed it from read to its track or something. Basically what it meant is I could hold down on here and just move it up and down while it played, and that allowed me to create the oscillation between sides if you're wearing headphones or you have good speakers. I believe after that, yeah, I create the bass line. And so to create the bass line, I think this is pretty smart. It's probably just really basic, but no, it's really smart. I copy and pasted the drum loop onto this bottom dweller bass sound that I liked, and deleted the notes that weren't in key, and that ended up sounding like this. Oh, hold on. Ended up sounding like this. And for the change, I just moved that down 2 semitones, which is still in key, and it sort of matches the pitch bend on the deep wave bass and the Aurora waves. It sounds really cool. I also included a little bass and deep wave bass on the fill. I copy and pasted the fill and deleted the notes I wanted to keep. Again, which sounded like that. Oh, and for the second half of the song, same bass line, just the one that was moved down 2 semitones comes first, and the one that wasn't comes second, so that it matches the pitch bending on that half of the song. And then it's almost over. One of the last things I did was decide I wanted a little bit of a lead synth line, so I found this Epic Hook synth noise that I liked, and I used the chord from the Aurora waves, the E major 9th or E minor 9th, still need to check that, and I basically put it in there, made some like did it, what do you call that, like striking, maybe, I'm not sure the term for it, but yeah. And I did the same thing I did for the bass line and moved it up 2 semitones. So it goes did it, did it, did it, did it, did it, did it. Same chord. Same chord I used for the Aurora waves. And then finally, I looked up on YouTube how to make a golden syrup tutorial. Clicked on the first video. It was this lovely American lady, and I sampled her. Yeah, that is my 1-minute track. Now time for the 30-second one. Basically, the first thing I did was I shortened this by making the baseline come in a whole bar earlier, getting rid of the lead up with the golden syrup, and just having the word golden syrup. So therefore this came earlier, and then I dragged the loop back here, made sure it was all in time still, so that I found where it hit 30 seconds, which was at bar 23, and so I made the track end there. Because there was a lot of repetition in my track at the end. So I was able to move the ending here and then work from there, where I decided the lead bass line, lead stabbing chords, there we go. Stabbing chords should come in immediately after the fill. I also decided that the golden syrup sample doesn't work when it's shorter because there's less build up. So I removed those and had to listen to it, check the automation still okay, which it was. And then I believe, I decided that they shouldn't come in instantly, they should come in on the last go through of it. And that it should still end on a golden syrup. I didn't do this in the video, but I moved that to the end and then added a bunch more delay on it, so it's like golden syrup, syrup. Thank you very, very much for watching, everybody. Like and subscribe. Yeah. I hope I pass. Bye bye.